In your video Demand and Supply, you mentioned the words grid storage, and seeing as we're talking about storage, would you be able to explain that a little bit more?
Yes. Grid storage is when you're using the national grid as a way of absorbing excess or receiving when there is excess supplied. So if you take the analogy of a bank, when we put our money into the bank, we feel very confident that it's sitting there, this nice pot of gold. The reality is it isn't. It's being shared around, it's being moved around, so it's being lent to other people. However, when you go to the bank, to the cash point machine, and you decide to withdraw money, you seem to be able to withdraw money. Therefore, it's available to store and be used by others. So the storage is a very fluid form of storage. But when you require it, you can also get it. And it's the same with electricity. So if you have an excess of electricity and you wish to store it on the grid, it will be used. But when the time comes and you require electricity, you will also be able to be provided from electricity from the wider grid network. And the way we do that is we have an interconnector that connects to this larger market, which is UK and then onward to Europe.
We have an interconnector. Does that mean we use grid storage now?
Yes. With our current generating system, the gas power turbine in Paul Rose, we have large periods where the energy we produce when the turbines are running at full speed is actually greater than what we're consuming. And so we are effectively depositing it into the UK. And there are short periods, particularly transition times, when we're going from 2 turbines on to 1 or 1 to 2, where we actually need to import a little bit. So we're withdrawing from the UK system, from that storage system.
Okay. So, I don't quite understand how it works with storage. So I think going back to your analogy, if I deposited £20 in the bank and then that bank went bust, I couldn't then take out my £20. How would that work with grid storage?
Well, we are dealing with effectively a large number of banks, if you want to make that analogy. We're dealing with a lot of different countries as we're connected to the European grid too. And within those countries, they have different sources of power. So they might have a variety of nuclear, renewables, gas turbines, coal, and so on. There's a huge variety. It's unlikely that they're all going to go offline at once. So the system works because of the plethora of choice.
So there'll always be an excess somewhere.
There will always be availability.